One of these days, I'm gonna hit that honeycomb hideout button and fuck everybody up. What the fuck? It's so easy to hit. You could just hit it, and that'd be it. We'd be on a different show.
Yep, that's why you gotta really read what you're doing.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
How you doing?
How's the microphone? What?
You gotta put your computer screen on.
What screen? How do I do it? Is there no computer screen?
So you can't see the computer right now?
Oh,
Did you open up your links?
yeah. I don't know what I'm doing, do I?
So leave that open and then
Oh.
go down here to window capture.
Everybody was just explaining to me that I don't know what I'm doing and you know everything.
Then you click properties.
Oh, I can't remember all that.
Find your screen.
That's too many steps.
And you click OK. Now they can see what you're doing.
Oh, there it goes.
Hi, people.
I did that.
Yeah,
I'm responsible for everything. Please share the feed because I'm responsible. Yeah. Melissa's out here with her coupons. Do you call them coupons or coupons?
Coupons.
Stop that.
They're coupons.
Coupon?
It's a coupon.
Can you guys please share the feed so they can see how ridiculous our lives are?
Nah, I call them coupons.
Let's go. We're going to go podcasters on Facebook. Promote your podcast. Podcast promotion. Your podcast, podcast broadcast.
You just got some stars.
Thank you for the stars. Is that what's happening when that happens?
Yeah. You see the stars pop up?
I don't see anything. I'm always reading.
Yeah.
I'm not on this screen.
Yeah, when you hear that, that's stars.
Oh.
It's either stars or someone has liked your stream or something.
Oh, so I don't know what's going on. This is the stuff I don't know about.
You gotta look at the screen.
I don't normally look at the screen because I'm reading. I'm reading news and information about the music industry.
See it pop
Thank you for liking the stream.
See that?
You don't like my streaming skills, do you?
Oh, boy.
Wow. People have caught us in a really tender moment. This is a tender moment between you and I in the morning. I need coffee. Hold on a second.
There you go.
I do declare. Are you ready for the summer? We're playing at, we just put up a show. We're playing at Sammy's Patio. Do you know we've never played at Sammy's Patio? Did you know that? You've lived here your whole life. You've never played there. Every band I've ever met in New England has played at Sammy's Patio. But we never have. Congratulations.
Here first?
Melissa, it's a first for you. Thank you to the good folks. Thank you, Hans. I'm trying to get better at saying thank you when the stuff goes off. Thank you for liking that stream. Is that better, Melissa? How about some music? Share the feed if you're just tuning in. Yo, Eric, what's going on? Eric always has good stuff to talk about. Keeping it real. Sorry, I'm trying to share this out everywhere. Share it out, God damn it, because we got some stuff. Oh shit! I gotta order some marijuana. I hope you guys are all in a place where you can order the things you need. Melissa's got coupons out here.
Coupons.
I feel like we're back in the early 90s. Do you guys still have coupons? Do you guys use coupons? Eric's like, I want to come on and say some shit. We would love to have you on. I would like you to come on the Honeycomb Hideout. That would be the best. If you guys didn't know, the Honeycomb Hideout is it's tonight, hosted by the celebrity merch girl, Miss Lexi Swan. Of course, our bass player is also on the program. And this is one thing I will say. It is a lot harder to do the stream than it might look. So I know a lot of you have been giving me shit about being late. I'm late all the time. The stream's supposed to be at 10:30. Let's keep it real. And I am indeed late because it takes a lot to get the stream together. And I made a joke to my friend Hans here. I said, when you guys start sending me more stars and I can get a coffee every day, then I'll be on time. Then I realized you guys were sending me stars and I didn't even know it. So thank you to all those people that have been contributing to the coffee fund here at William vs. the World. Eric said he don't even know there was coupons anymore. I don't know why she just gave me these.
You took them.
They're not. I didn't take them from you.
They were right here.
Oh, I took a coupon for Valvoline.
I was just putting those there, and then you grabbed them.
Oh, thanks for the stars. See? Melissa, I'm getting good. I'm going to start putting the breakdown. I'm going to start putting some more music on here for y'all, too. Motherfucker. That shit's popping. So, okay, let's get to some music stuff, because I'm playing around too much with the gadgets. I started this whole stream off, but what I wanted to remind everybody is how challenging it was, because I have to go and get all the articles every single night. It was easy when we did just the Honeycomb Hideout and it was Wednesday. But believe it or not, in all seriousness, you guys that do send the stars and some of you that subscribe, come and watching our band practices and our behind the scenes stuff, those of you that donate, our Patreons and subscribers to our website, and the little bits and pieces that you guys nickel and dime helps out so much. Like, you guys don't know. You guys are really massive contributors to us writing music, being able to record, being able to afford guitar strings, drumsticks, gas. So when you guys send us stars, when you guys send us gifts and donations, we love this stuff more than anything. So we take that money, we take those donations, and we turn it right back into music. We turn it right back into content that helps us buy batteries, that helps us buy cheap gear. Like, we just got our new cheap gear. Everybody's so excited. Our band now has in-ear monitors, and I'm old, so I don't like it. And that's why I have a show right here for old motherfuckers like me. And why wouldn't you want to have a middle-aged man in his 40s yell at people on the internet? That's my job. So that's the deal. It's good content. And if you are one of those people out there that don't like to be yelled at by 40-year-old men on the internet, this is definitely not the program for you. I'm a metalhead, I'm old, and I'm mean. You got that, Melissa? You hear? I'm mean as a motherfucker. I'm just kidding. So we got a bunch of new shows about to be published. There's a show at least every month. It dawned on me there just isn't enough shows in New England. I was looking around and I was like, wow, there's a real shortage of hard rock and heavy metal. There's some punk shows. There's some death metal shows. There's a lot of country shows. But I'm like, there's not a lot of hard rock and heavy metal shows in New England this year. And I'm like, wait a minute. We can't fucking have that. It's the 1st. It's the 8th. I got my dates fucked up because I'm booking everything. But our show is June 1st. I'm also organizing another one for May 18th. Just because there was none. And we started to look at these lists. I can't even show you. I have these fucking lists, massive lists of bands. Look at that. Massive lists of bands on my phone. Just people that aren't booked or looking to collaborate or network. You guys know me, man. I just can't sit around and watch bands want to play and not play. It just doesn't seem right. So we try to do what we can. A lot of folks sent us band submissions. I started to think of myself, man. I said, we're a band. Is it typical for bands to get band submissions like this? I mean, it does. It feels good to know that people want to play music with us. It feels good that people can trust us with the responsible tasks. That always feels good. But there's another side of the coin, and it's like, damn, what happened to all the shows, right? What the hell? Damn, man. Yo, Scott says, yo, we ain't old. We're fucking classic. See? I'm going to start calling myself classic from here on out. Next time some little kid calls me old, I'm going to say, look, you little fuck. If you survive to be like me, you're going to be classic. All right. All right. Why are music industry contracts so complicated? You see this? It's from Digital Music News. Why are music industry contracts so complicated? Flu, that's the shitty name. Flu has a platform for that. What if your name is Flu? Nobody likes the flu. Even past tense. What if it was called Fly? Just kidding. So here we go. Even the sexiest music industry deals crash into reality when the contracts come out. Flu is determined to simplify the necessary evil. Unfortunately, music industry contracts and licensing agreements are typically intricate and dense documents fraught with legal terminology, making them difficult to generate and manage. Once filed away, they become challenging to store and retrieve efficiently. It's a mess we've all experienced, but the confusion often lasts for the life of the deal. Headaches are best enjoyed with a confusing paper trail or contentious disagreement with piles of legalese and contradictory details adding to the excitement. Bro, I'm telling you right now, this sounds exactly like my record deals. Wow. Sadly, the cliche that only the lawyers win seems to fit more often than not, though one guy is trying to change that. His name is Alex. I'm just going to call him fucking Alex because I'm not playing this shit. We're going to call him fucking Alex. And his disruptive vision doesn't revolve around new fangled AI or anything tech sexy. Instead, Rodriguez's company, Flow, has a simple mission to revolutionize the cumbersome, painful, and inefficient process surrounding music agreements. So he's going to simplify things, I guess. He's quoted in saying, "As an attorney myself, I realize that there's no central software package for all musicians' contracts. Flow just recently I'm going to call it Flow. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call him Alex, okay? And we're going to call it Flow. Flow just recently joined forces with Digital Music News to further expand awareness on the platform. In a nutshell, Flow is one platform designed to streamline and simplify every aspect of music contract management." Just reading a bit ahead here. Okay. So let's think of the aspirin required to get through a music contract and multiply it by 10,000. That's the general idea here. Flow's platform manages every micro step of the music contracting process, starting with the document creation phase. That's where a range of industry-specific templates come into play with subsequent collaboration features guiding the reviewing, negotiating, and editing stages with AI assistance. I also see how this can be weaponized. You know, the criminal brain in me goes, oh, you can really trick people with shit like this. I ain't gonna lie. Let's read on. The platform also includes other steps and details, including e-signature approvals, centralized storage, deliverable tracking, and reminders. Sounds like a lot of software we already use. Flow is not just software solution, it's a revolution in the music contract management. We are committed to empowering music companies, artists, and stakeholders with the legal tools that they need to thrive in the music industry. I mean, the tools they're using now are to fuck everybody over. Which to say that they won't use these tools to fuck people harder, you know? So it's a software that it's repeating itself now, how much it's needed. Unfortunately, all the contracts that are in music face similar pitfalls, and traditionally, music contracts have been notoriously time consuming and expensive to create and manage. Once finalized, these agreements often become buried within filing cabinets or lost in digital voids, posing significant legal risks and liabilities to music companies. Ain't that the fucking truth? Additionally, the dynamic nature of music contracts with their deliverable contingencies, critical dates, ongoing rights, and complex royalty payment triggers further complicates their management. You got that right. Apart from the initial challenges, music contracts must also account for tracking recoupments and documenting each release properly, including splits and side artist agreements, among other specifics. These living contracts demand a meticulous tracking system, which has been sorely lacking until now. By enabling music companies to create, review, approve, sign, store, track all their contracts in centralized platform, Flow seeks to bring unparalleled efficiency and clarity to contract management. What the fuck do y'all think about that? Let's see what you guys got to say. Hey, Rob, how's it going, man? I'd like to read some of you guys' comments on this, that's for sure. Eric says, I got to read what Eric's talking about because he's got a little bit of experience here. Eric says, no one ever reads their contracts. And in Eric's experience, these bigger labels and these other so-called labels have so much fine print in those contracts that it doesn't favor the artist at all. I'll definitely agree with that. If people actually read the contract and weren't so gung-ho, had to just be signed by anybody, they would see that. Yeah, it's great to have a label. That's not going to do stuff for you, but it's great to have a label that's going to do stuff for you, excuse me. But at the end of the day, in the contract, if you read it, it shows they're going to screw you. Okay. Then Scott says, it's very confusing. If you're not educated in the music business, what's the old saying? You need to read the fine print over and over until you go blind and get a good lawyer so you don't get fucked. Yeah, you guys know your shit, man. You guys are perfect for this program. Yeah. That's what makes people like you and I good at spotting the hoodwink. Tiger says you hit the nail on the coffin. To Eric, no doubt about that. Eric goes on to say, at the end of the day, no band really needs a label unless that label is going to fund them. In today's day and age, with the music and bands can do everything that the major label would do for them. The only thing the band needs is the finances to get it done for themselves. And they need someone who will coach them and direct them, help them, budget, do accounting. I mean, oh shit, what's up? We got Salvatore Pan in the building. Trisha said, no thanks to more tech created by lawyers. Oh my gosh, it's fucking crazy, dude. Yikes. If you guys are just jumping in now, please share the feed. I love you. I love going out with you people in the morning. You guys are safe and sane. It's crazy when I'm calling you guys sane. I'm just playing with y'all. Somebody said that to me the other day. They're like, man, I just need to talk to somebody that's just sane. I said, you think I'm sane? I said, boy, you might be crazier than me. If you think I'm sane, if you motherfuckers think that I'm sane, then you guys are crazy. If you guys are calling me equipped, then we're all in trouble. It's like I say when I'm on the Halo leaderboard, there'll be 12 guys playing and I'll see my name in the top of the leaderboard. And I'm like, everybody sucks. If I'm winning the game, then that means everybody sucks. Nah, I'm not that bad at Halo. Even though I've been playing my whole life. I get on the leaderboard sometimes. But not every time. You know what I mean? That's life on life's terms. I'm just going to go into this quickly. This is will.i.am, and he's talking about radio's importance according to will.i.am. I mean, before we even get into this, nothing against him. I think that we all can remember a time where we think we liked the radio. I mean, the times the times that I can remember really loving the radio were times that I didn't have anything else. This is just my experience. Like, I don't know, fucking prison. When you're in prison, you don't have anything. I grew up in jails and prisons and shit. So, like, when I was a kid in the county farm, you could buy a radio. That's where I learned a lot about podcasting and broadcasting and talk radio. In the county farm, if they had these purple dial plastic radios, and you could spin them around, and if you stood in the right place in your cell and you fucking put a paper clip on the end of it and wrap some tin foil around your fucking head, you'd be able to pick up, talk radio and shit. There wasn't many stations because of the location of the facilities, and I think it all plays a part, like the electronics and the walls and everything and frequencies. But to make a long story short, that's where I learned about what I'm doing here, like talk radio and stuff. So I can remember loving radio when there was nothing else, and then, like, all through my life, my understanding of radio is like whatever station they played their favorite. It's not even the top billboards or top songs or top anything. It's just like, if you have a station like Rock 101, Rock 101, I'm 43. Rock 101 has played the same music for 43 years straight. Like, somebody tag Rock 101 just so I could tell them to go fuck themselves. They don't do anything for the city. They don't put on for the state. They have nothing to do. They're completely unplugged and disassociated with the rock community and culture in their own communities. They want nothing to do with their neighbors. They don't celebrate their neighbors, their talent, their contribution to music. New bands, upcoming bands across the globe. It's been the same rotation on all of the rock stations that I know of for the past 50 years. We used to make the antennas with coax cable from TV. Yep, exactly. Exactly. They didn't have TVs in the like the county spots and stuff like that, but in the state penitentiary they did. They used to make all types of shit. I'm trying to think what they made. I think they made antennas out of headphone wire and shit like that. Like, you know, they give you the little generic one that comes with the radio. People cut that shit up and tape it to the fucking wall and shit. But, yeah, I mean, I suppose if you don't got the internet, radio would be pretty cool. But that's like magazines. I have a love for books and magazines, and the radio, I think, will always be in my heart because I grew up in a time where that's all I had, you know? So I have a certain love and appreciation for radio. Let's see what let's just read from a couple of these. So during the panel, will.i.am called radio. He's quoted as saying, one of the most important conduits for the world of music. You know, I think, what's will.i.am's from the Black Eyed Peas or something? You know, I think in his time, I think it's really important for people that were coming out in the 90s and 2000s. I think for his career, it was very important. For my career, fuck radio. I wish somebody would tag Rock 101 so I could tell them to go fuck their moms. How about that? He said the radio stations that do it right do it really well. They're still important from a cultural zeitgeist standpoint. I don't know that type of fancy language. Streaming, he goes on to say, streaming doesn't really cover what's going on in communities. On the community level, there are still folks that tune into these staples of culture for their personalities, the community leaders and people to follow. Who the fuck in community in New England on the radio is leading us anywhere with music? What the fuck is he talking about? What is he talking about? You can also tag WHEB too. But what are they talking about? Let's challenge this. I really want to read this again because I'm fucking shocked. This goes out to all radio stations. will.i.am says here, streaming doesn't really cover what's going on in communities. On the community level, there are still folks that tune in to the staples of culture for the personalities, the community leaders, and people to follow. What the fuck good are they if they don't play no music? Why would I want to follow somebody that ain't doing nothing? That doesn't make sense. I don't look to radio for anybody. What do you guys look to New Hampshire radio? Do you look towards the personalities? Do you look for your community leaders in radio? Who in radio does anything for local music, independent music, or upcoming music? When's the last time radio has ever done anything for anybody, any neighbors? When the fuck has radio done anything for musicians? Dude, fuck the radio. I might go on record and say fuck all the radio. What do they do? When's the last time radio's done anything for heavy metal? Name me one radio station that does something for heavy metal or for their fucking neighbors. Name one. The radio stations in New Hampshire can go fuck their mothers, and I'm going to tell you why. Because they haven't played any new music in 50 years. They are fucking, that's the definition of a horrible DJ. A DJ that leads you to no music. Isn't the responsibility of a DJ to encourage and to introduce new music? I mean, even Spotify or the technology and alga fucking rhythms and AI, it all claims to do what? To be a fucking DJ and to be able to go and hunt down cool music so that it can, what? It can introduce new music and discovery to you, quote unquote, Spotify, quote unquote. Come on, y'all. We know streaming doesn't take any type of value into actually leading people to discovery. But if I ever wanted to say something, you guys know how I feel about Spotify. If I ever wanted to say or find something worse than Spotify, it's the fucking radio. It's commercial, terrestrial, college, radio altogether is the most gate-kept technology for the last 200 years. Fuck the radio completely. I've been alive for almost half of 100 fucking years, and I haven't heard any new music ever on any of the local stations here in New Hampshire or New England. Literally, if you are a DJ and you work on any genre in any station here in New England, fuck you and fuck your mom. How about that? You're the worst fucking type of DJs that have ever been born. When you think about the responsibility of DJs, their main job is searching for music that you don't have the spare time to. Their main job as a DJ, the main thing that they're supposed to do and be good at is blending music and coming up with playlists that they can introduce to people. So if you're a DJ and you work for a radio station that refuses to play new music, you are fucking terrible. Get the fuck out of here. No punches pulled. You are fucking awful. And not showing people and not leading people into discovery is a perfect example of why we have this program to talk about this bullshit. That is the most inaccurate. I can't remember the last time I have ever heard anybody. Let's read it again. Streaming doesn't really cover what's going on in communities. That's true. That's an accurate statement. On a community level, what the fuck is he talking about? On a community level, what community is he from? There are still folks that tune in to the staples of the culture. What culture are these motherfuckers talking about? What unified culture? We're going to start looking this shit up by English definition because I might not know what it means anymore. Community, culture, leaders. What the fuck are they talking about? Who are they referencing? What personalities and community leaders can be found on radio? For hip hop, for rock and roll, for classic rock, for metal. The only thing that is on the radio is classic music. Bro. They say DJs don't have that freedom anymore. Well, if I was working as a doctor and I didn't have the freedom to take care of people, I'd quit. If I was a magician and I didn't have the freedom to do magic tricks or pull a rabbit out the hat, I'd find something else to do. If I was a reverend and I couldn't, all of a sudden, I would be punished for talking about God. Maybe I'd find something else to do. I think that the whole idea of radio rewarding the biggest cheaters and pussies in the game is not a justification. That is not a qualification. That is not a skill set. That is not a skill set. That's like saying, we have to protect children. As adults, we have to protect children, from dangerous adults. That's a common understanding of adults. As DJs, it's a common understanding that you took on a job. It's like taking on a job as a preacher. You're taking on a job of responsibility to talk about spirituality or whatever, if you're a physical therapist, you're going to take on a job of fixing people, getting their bodies moving around and being mobile. That's what you set out to achieve. That's what being qualified is, guys. That's what jobs are for. Qualified people. But she's right. They must not have the freedom. So if you don't have the freedom to do something, why would you do it? Would you join the police force and watch all the police officers abuse people, knowing that you're supposed to protect? Or maybe you join Spotify thinking that you were going to help artists be discovered, only to find out later that they're not discovering people. You don't think that there are people during slavery that knew it was wrong, that knew it was awful, that knew that that was the lowest common denominator in humanity, the most unscientific mindset and approach to treating human beings? Of course, there were people that knew that scientifically that, we're not superior to each other. We knew that we're creatures born naked in the woods. Most people understand that. Most people knew during the times of slavery that it was ugly and it was wrong and abusive, but they just sat, no one said anything because everybody else was doing it, right? Right? Yeah, you fucking pussies. And the same thing with radio. Nobody ever says it. It is a criminal organization. And DJs take on the responsibility, just like housekeepers, just like guitar players. If I said to you, "Hi, I'm William the guitar player," and you said, "Will, can you play me a riff?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know if I have any of those on file," you would question if I was a guitar player. If I said, "Hey, I'm Will the guitar player," and you say, "Hey, man, play me some songs," and I told you I didn't know any, or I played you half a song, you might ask me, "Do you know any whole songs, sir?" And I said, "No, I don't know any whole songs." You might question my ability as a guitar player. If I said, "You are a DJ. You are a disc jockey. Your job is your whole purpose is to navigate what other people don't have, and that's called spare time and free time. Just like the gadgets promise that they do for us. They promise to go and search for music for us because we don't have the time anymore, right? But that's what the DJs have always done. They're supposed to turn us on. They're supposed to take the risks and tell us what's hot, right? They're supposed to introduce new music and new things to us and new conversations. But I'm telling you, at nearly 44 years old, all of the New Hampshire, New England stations that I've ever heard, including college, they don't give a fuck about the musicians that live in their own towns and cities. They don't give a fuck. And not only that, they don't care about good music. DJs are not hunting down great music and showing people unique, original, great music. And to me, that's the only what else do we need a DJ for? If the algorithms and we have robots that are designed to learn our moods, then what is the DJ for today? And that's why you see radio stations still to this day monopolized, playing the same 70 classic rock tunes. All radio is classic rock and terrible 90s hip hop. That's it. Classic rock and terrible 90s hip hop. That's the only thing that you will ever find on the radio. Let me read some shit you guys got to say. Trisha said it's owned by the system. She ain't lying. Rob said, word by Rage Against the Machine. Turn it the fuck off. Yeah, I mean, Rage gets played sometimes, don't they? Um, 99.1 The Bone plays new hard rock and metal. But you're totally right about the radio about fuck the radio. Excuse me. Radio hasn't been relevant in 25 years or more. If radio is so good, then why aren't we listening to it? Like you know what I mean? Like even of all the bands, we know hundreds and thousands of bands, and none of them are on the radio. So we don't give a fuck about the radio. I might care about the radio if they played bands, but they don't play bands. That's just the thing. I have nothing good to say about the DJs here in New England or the radio here in New England. I don't know how it is for where you guys live. Fuck the radio here in New England because no one's going to say it but me. So I'll say it. All rock and roll and hard rock radio in New England and especially New Hampshire can kiss my fucking ass. And the reason why I say fuck them boldly is because they don't play New England bands. All New England rock and roll stations that don't play New England bands or have love for their neighbors can go fuck themselves. Fuck them. What are they good for? Nothing. So fuck them. And if they started playing New England bands, maybe I might listen to them. Maybe I change my mind. But as of right now, New England radio stations want nothing to do with the most talented New England bands. How are you going to have a New England station like New England New England Metal Fest? How are you going to have a New England Metal Fest? You ain't got the most talented goddamn bands in New England. Eat a dick. We don't roll like that. You know what I'm saying? These people love shooting out hometown. They love throwing up the hometown flag. When they need favors, they all talk about New England. All the biggest, venues in New England, they don't book New England acts. So fuck them too. I don't give a fuck about it one way or another. If you are a rock and roll DJ, I don't care what tier of radio that you claim to be in. If you are in commercial terrestrial college radio and you don't play the most qualified New England artists, I ain't got no love or respect for you. I can't speak for the rest of the people in my band or my company, but eye to eye, nose to nose, I will tell you to fuck yourself to your face. Nose to nose. If you are a New England DJ and you happen to play a New England artist, I got love for you. Then I take back everything I said. It's that simple. You can't fly the New England flag. You can't fly, just like you can't fly the inclusive rock and roll community, dude. And if you're going to be inclusive, then be inclusive. You can't just be inclusive when you're including your buddies, fuckface. That's how we do it around here. We don't include people. If I was a DJ, I wouldn't include people that I just liked personally. It would be my oath to hunt down qualified, quality music to introduce to people. That would be my job if I was a DJ. That's why I would never get hired as a DJ, because I would have to be honest. I'd be fired immediately. Because I would tell the program directors that they are unfair and that they are cheating and that what we are doing is criminal and fucked up. We can't continue to use words like culture and community and shit like that every time we need a favor. He goes on and calls radio a stage for America, especially for the artists who are in their breakout phase. Radio is America's stage for a lot of these artists when there's no outlet. How do you really get mass appeal? Certain countries do a better job of that. will.i.am concedes. He mentions BBC hitting all the UK. Okay, yeah, good for them. They don't do it like that in America. In America, it's about gatekeeping, player. You ain't got the memo? With radio, that's an old monetization model where advertisements is doing that, but people are actually tuning in. People are choosing to listen. When we see reach, are we counting the true tuning in? How do you monitor radio? Terrestrial radio, you can't really monitor it like you can skip rates with a streaming platform. I don't know if that's fair to the radio because it's algorithmically not the same to monitor how the system works. Who gives a fuck if it's fair to radio? Radio hasn't been fair to anybody. Fuck radio. In digital, you've got a lot of ghost listening where it's not real humans behind the streams. So what? That's the same thing when people put on the radio and just passively blare classic fucking rock for the last 40 years. It's the same shit. It's just background music. Same thing. But with radio, humans tuned in because they're in a car or they're going to work listening to the radio. Yes, dummy, passively. It's still passive listening. It's still background noise. Comparing them as if they're the same, they're not. And I agree, streaming and radio is not the same behavior or activity. I agree with that. It's the engagement with the hosts and personalities that people are glued to when it comes to radio. will.i.am continues. And that really reinforces my point that it's not the music. Chat, you hear what I'm saying? He basically just said it right there. That's the same thing people can say with Sepsis in our broadcasts. A lot of people listen to our live shows or they tune in, to some of our documentaries or our live broadcasts, and they've never listened to our music at all. Friends and family of mine have never even been to my fucking shows. But I'm not confused or disillusioned by that. I'm not some rock star, dreamy dude that's sitting in my apartment pretending that I'm more famous than I am on Facebook. And we know some of you are. Sepsis isn't one of those Facebook bands that, because we got a couple thousand likes, that we think people like our music. No, we're pretty sure we know how people feel. Nice try. We're not confused. When you see other bands at our level, here's the thing you need to understand about our band. We know something that you don't know. When you see other bands at our level, they think they've made it. Yeah, many of them think that they've achieved something big and they've got these follower counts and they've got these metrics. But to us, it's like if you got 20,000 followers, it's more about what you're going to do with those followers, man. If you've got 30 songs, it's more about how far you're going to take them 30 songs for us. If you've got a cool performance and you're doing all kinds of tricks, then it's more about how many people are in the audience and on the dance floor. What's your fucking draw? And so I know a lot of people at our level, even some of our fans, they think we've made it or we've done something cool or whatever. And for those of you that give us props, much love. I tip my hat and generously, humbly respect, your kindest opinions and compliments. But here's the other side of the coin. We work really hard. We don't make a lot of money. And we do a lot of the stuff because we love to do it. But one thing that Sepsis is not, we are not confused. We are not one of those bands on Facebook at our level that thinks that we've done something great. We have won multiple awards. We've been nominated for different awards. We've worked with all kinds of celebrities. We've opened up for big bands. We've had, Grammy-winning managers and Grammy-nominated producers. And we've worked with all kinds of people. And we know all kinds of celebrities and rappers and cool. Whoop-de-fucking-do. We are not one of those bands. We are not one of those bands that think that we've done something special. I know that there are a lot of bands on Facebook that think they're a part of a music industry or they think they're doing something special or they think their follower account gives them some power over people, but not here. So when you see bands at our level behaving like that, you know it's fucking distorted. Yeah, you know that there's been an image created, there's been an image of success that's been created to flatter you. And I'm telling you right now, bands at our level are small bands. So a lot of bands that are smaller than us, a lot of artists that are smaller than our band get mad at us when we tell you that we are a small band, because smaller bands than us look at us and go, oh my God, don't tell them that. You're revealing that we're even smaller. So one thing we know for sure here is that we're not a big band. And one thing that we're always trying to teach people is that you're not in a big band. You're not. And it's a small world, and we're all in this together, and we all work really hard to do that, and we are best and bigger united. So our goal here is not to gain power or to be, get to some level in the music industry where we stand over other bands or we stand over fans. Our goal and our role here in Sepsis is not to stand over our fans and be worshipped, but to stand with them. It's completely different. It's completely different. We want to share the spotlight with bands. We want to share the stage and share the spotlight with other people. We don't want it to be shined on us. It's not that important. Not to us. What is important to us is playing great music, and what is important to us is finding and discovering our real, authentic fans. That is important. He goes on to say more about radio personalities here, and it really does rain. It really helps me reinforce the conversation in terms of the personalities and the influencers and people like that really getting attention online and not music. And that's partly because consumers have been taught to hate music. Consumers fucking hate local music because they've been taught to. Consumers have been taught to hate different brands of independent music because on the consumer level, it's taught that independent music means low quality. Okay? We have been on commercial radio before. We have been on lots of college radio. We continue to play on the radio. To all the radio stations, all the commercial radio stations that have played us, they can also fuck themselves too. How about that? That's how serious I am. I don't give a fuck one way or another, because anytime that we've ever been on commercial radio, anytime that we've ever been on rotation anywhere, on any professional radio stations, we've had to pay someone to do it. So that maybe your experience is different, but I'm telling you right now, anytime Sepsis has been on the radio, anytime you have heard us on commercial radio, that's because we paid to get on it. Most people won't admit that. Most people won't admit that that is the truth. But that is absolutely our truth. Johnny Ketchup says, no, radio hosts on FM are not there to introduce music. They're there to run commercials. Hey, I stand corrected. Eric says, I do on my shows, but no one's listening. With all due respect to the internet radio, there is a market for internet radio. I'm talking about FM, AM, college, terrestrial radio, commercial radio. So I know we have a little bit of a different shout out to all the social media DJs and the DJs on, Twitch and of course in the parties and clubs and stuff like that. I don't mean to segregate you from the conversation, but I mean specifically what Will I Am was talking about was terrestrial and commercial radio. But nonetheless, Gio says, Will, don't make the mistake. The DJ is not in charge anymore. They are staff, tools. This is kind of like what Johnny was saying. They are staff, tools that corporate now abuses just like everyone else. Damn. Don't think it's the station either. Go 4 steps up the ladder to the mogul brushing elbows and grabbing asses. He's right. I could never fucking argue with that. And I'm not depressed about it. You know what I mean? But there is a shadow of disappointment. There is, because our conversation here, I always want to lead to hope, and I know sometimes That's a challenging thing to do. Tiger says, fuck free to play. DJs are controlled by suites and are told what to play. Fuck back in the day. Fuck. Back in the day, that is why I liked college radio, not controlled by the suits. Yeah, man, I do remember that. That was a good time. I used to love college radio, especially early hip hop on college radio was amazing. Johnny Ketchup says, we at Metal Cross Radio play all of the underground bands, including Sepsis. Yo, that's awesome. If you want, please put Metal Cross Radio in the chat so everybody can go follow you guys and listen to your shows. I got a whole list of bands right here that should play on Metal Cross. Man, I wish I lived in New Hampshire, Eric says. Well, Geo says, it's not the stations. Look it up. Audacity owns more than 200 stations in 45 markets and boasts more than 3.5 million monthly broadcast listeners in Boston. One company gatekeeps all the voices. Wow, I want to pin this one. I wish I could pin this. I want to pin it. I can't pin this comment. If I could pin this comment, if I don't know, can if my mods and my moderators, can you guys pin comments? I don't know if you can or not. Please pin Geo's comment. That was crazy. Inclusive is a catchphrase used by bad people to exclude others. It sure can be. Same with freedom and liberty. Come join us on Metal Cross Radio. You can have your own show. Europe loves metal. Do they? Fuck this guy's opinion. Johnny Ketchup, hit me up. I'd like to do a live show on your station. Yes, man, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Yes, man, I love that. That's what we set out to do, connect people. I love that, man. Larry said, what is my reach? I don't know. You have to explain the question. I'm not sure the question on that one. Some love you, some hate you. What is success? I suppose it's just being happy. No, I'm with that. Yo, Gio, much love, bro. We can be as long as we can be a work in progress. I love to think of us all as all of us, not just my band, but all of us. I like to think of us all as kind of moving forward and growing together. Come on, let me live my dream. Scott says, I put a CD in and I'm good to go. When I got almost 11, my friend asked, who is that band? I said, Sepsis. Go check them out. I do what was done to me. Just introduce new music by word of mouth, put it on a CD player because that's how I introduce it to people, that want to hear new music. Yo, I really appreciate that. Fans ask us, this is what Johnny Ketchup says, fans ask us to play all over the world, but at the end of the day, we're just some guys that have had day jobs and some bills. Some folks think we're big time, and I don't ruin their fantasy. Some thinks we are nobodies, and fuck them. Yeah, man. That's real, man. I love the authenticity, bro. Eric says you can get put in every music magazine if you pay them. Absolutely. Sepsis has been in some of the biggest ones like Loudwire, Revolver, The Source. We're in a whole bunch of magazines. And all of the big magazines and publications that Sepsis has ever been in, we paid them. So if you're in a rock and roll band and you want to go on Revolver or XM Radio or you want to have any of these features, I'm sure you could contact me or even you'll see his name here, Eric Leviathan. Hit up my man Eric, bro, and he might help you too. between the handful of bands and people that we have in our networks, if you really want to be on Revolver Magazine, I'm pretty damn sure you could just call my phone and I'll get you on there. There's no question in my mind. If you want to sign a record deal, if you want to give your money to people, me and Eric can help you. But I would rather you get the kind of guidance and coaching and budgeting and accounting that you need to finance and take care of your real dream. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to advise you to not give me or other strangers on the internet your money to make rock and roll. That's what I'm going to try to tell you. I'm going to try to explain to whatever tier and level of band that you're in. I think you need to really think long and hard of what you set out to achieve before you start giving anybody your money to play music that you can play for free as a birthright. That shit is funny. Rolling Stone, shit, you can get into Rolling Stone if you got the money, and he ain't lying. That's serious. Sure, I can get you on billboards, magazines. We can get you on Times Square if you got the bread. Where I live in Washington State, there is a classic rock station I listen to. There is one DJ who plays new music by newer bands that sound similar to the older rock music on the station. Dude, that's really cool. I love that. The fact that there's somebody doing that at all is awesome. Shout out to that DJ that does what other DJs aren't doing. All the DJs I know, they play their favorites. Like, just even look at the Facebook DJs. Look at the most popular Facebook DJs. They all play their favorites. They don't play all the bands on Facebook. They only play their favorites, bro. Do you want me to start naming names? Because you know I fucking will. I'll fucking start tagging these motherfuckers. You guys know me. You guys know who I'm talking about. Don't even start. I'm talking about the big popular fucking groups on Facebook. The groups that claim they're in the radio stations. You know what I'm talking about, Eric. The biggest ones. The most popular radio stations and internet stations and apps. The music curators. The fucking music experts on Facebook that have radio stations. You know who I'm talking about. There's only a couple of them. And those stations only play their favorites. They don't play everybody, and they don't play everybody that's qualified or quality. They only play the guys that they fucking hang out with and the guys that they agree with. Fuck out of here. We all know it. And I'm the only one that fucking says it. Facebook bands, Facebook metal, Facebook and social media fake metal is super segregated. And everybody hangs out in little pockets and corners and makes rumors and talks shit about each other. Everybody knows it. And I'm the only one that fucking says it. That's because I don't give a fuck. Because all of you are terrified to talk about it, and I'm not. I'll name names. I'll look you in the fucking air. I'll rub fucking noses with you. And you guys know it in person. I'm the only one on the internet that when it comes right down to saying it, if push comes to shove, I'm the only one on the internet that'll name names and look people in the eyes and tell them what they're doing. Shit, you can get in Rolling Stone if you got the money. I got you too, Mr. Ketchup. Gio says, you know me. Put me in front of the army. You will be heard. That's why I fuck with you, Gio. They play the same songs over and over and over again, remixes and shit. That's because, Robert, the remix, the cover song, the tribute band, pirating, sampling, and stealing and streaming are the biggest songs played in America, sir. That's the most popular song in America is stealing. And then lying about it. Next to pollution. Send your music to cunninghamwen@gmail.com for a chance to play on Metal Cross Radio. Thank you, Johnny Ketchup, for hooking that up. Eric says, what? I say it fancy like that because it kind of says like Eric. You know what I mean? Like, what people don't understand is that back in the day, when a major label would sign a band, the label would pay all for that shit. And what he means that shit, he means for magazine spots, for um for features on podcasts and radio shows. They'd hook you up with interviews, publications, meet and greets, stuff like that. That's what he means by that. The label would advance you or let you borrow money, to cover certain expenses like recording, music videos, stuff like that, social media management. Just before people knew how to do it. No one no one ever wrote about anyone because they were so good. They did it because they were paid. Same with everything else. Now the bands can do it too, so labels are not necessary. Oh, that's so fucking dope that you can pay from it. Yes. But that you got to understand, Gio. That's why I wanted you guys to have that privilege. You know what I mean? It's a dope thing. Like, I like to be able to allow like some of the staff members and the band members to take part in administrating the pages and having different abilities. That way, the like when the artists are playing, or like let's say we're doing a live stream and we're trying to be musical or get through a point, we won't have to deal with, like hecklers or spam, or say something's really cool. We want to highlight a moment like that. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot there, but you really had a great comment. Sorry about that. When it's good, it's good. Robert said, well, I think he's looking to see what the numbers you bring in. Yeah, numbers lie. Well, I can't see the name on it. I'm so sorry. Thank you for the raid. I didn't know we could still raid people on Twitch. If you're here through the raid, we're also streaming on Facebook and YouTube. A lot of the people that are viewing Watch Sepsis on Facebook. We're a Facebook band. So a lot of times, I don't know what's going on Twitch. The little things keep making noises, but we're in these crazy topics, and Melissa gets mad at me because I wind up missing that you guys are sending me stars or subscribing. I'm gonna try my hardest to stop missing that. And I mean it, Hans. I'll start showing up at 10:30 when you start sending me more stars. I was telling Hans this morning, if he sends me enough stars every morning where I can get a cup of coffee, then I will be on time 10:30 every fucking morning sharp. The more tips I get, the more I'll be on time. Hans. Oh, what's up? Bruce is in the house. That's the crew over there at the Legion of Solace, our partners in metal. Good morning. Make sure you go check them out. Brandy said most of my music is all local bands. Oh, shout out to Brandy. Thank you for being here also. Robert says, is that why Concert Junkies, Rob and John, YouTube bring new artists every week? And that's why we love you so much, bro. You've been doing it consistently for years. There's not a lot of people doing what you're doing, Rob. Not at all. There's not a lot of people doing what you're doing. There just isn't. People just don't understand that. If anybody even tries to pretend that they do what you do, they are so full of shit, because it takes hard work to do what you do consistently. It's one thing to have all kinds of fancy gear and all kinds of networks and know everybody, but for you to do what you do and you do it consistently is fucking awesome. I see you too, Mr. Ketchup. Jeremiah says, my favorite song is Shepherd of Fire. I've never heard it. You have to send it through. The Deck of Many Bands. My God, what a great idea. Only supports international indie bands. This will never change. Oh, thank you so much. That is music to my ears. No pun intended. Fanzines was how I found out about unsigned bands back in the day. Dude, magazines don't do shit for your career unless your career is at a spot that it will matter. Otherwise, it's a waste of money, says Eric. Gio says, Will, you wound me. The deck can't play anything yet, but all bands will be heard. We just need to find each other. Discovery is the key. And you know what? People like you, Gio, Johnny, and Bruce, all of you, there's a common denominator here. Eric, Scott, Robert. No, I'm telling you this. It takes a strong man to tell another man that he loves him. I'm telling you, I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. I love y'all genuinely, authentically, and emotionally, because this music changed my life. Heavy metal changed my life. Heavy metal changed everything about my life. I was before heavy metal. I was in a very, 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 very dark place in my life, and I was every day was a near death experience for me before I played guitar, before I found heavy metal. Because of guitar and heavy metal, I was able to meet Melissa, and because I met Melissa, we started Sepsis, and since we started Sepsis, it's completely transformed my life into being sober, into being an award winner. I don't smoke cigarettes. We pay our bills. We go to bed on time. It's transformed my life, and not all of it is cookies, cupcakes, and ice cream and stuff like that. It's challenging. This is a tough game to be in. But heavy metal changed my life. And all of you guys that are in the party right now, all you guys in the chat, that's why I'm having conversations like this. It's not so we can always agree all the time, or that we have to be the same, or we have to be inclusive or exclusive. Nah, man. It's not a genre thing. It's not an age thing. It's not because I'm brown. It's not because Melissa's a woman, or any of those things that separate us. It's not because of those things. The things that make us different are truly a sign of unification for me, in variety and diversity in our community. Because the one thing that we're not separated from is the fact that this has changed our life, and that we think this is really valuable, and we all believe in the same type of conversations that lead to hope. You feel me? That's what it is. We are responsible. Even if there is only a few of us, we represent the maximum force, the smallest amount of people on Facebook that's putting out this energy. So all we need to do is find the rest of us. Larry, Bruce, Johnny, Gio. We have to find the rest of the people that belong in this chat. There's not many of us. There's not hundreds to thousands. But if we get the right people together, those are the people that we need to make the change. And we can make the change, just us. All we have to do is unify in our mission to discover the truth, show bands that it's not a competition, introduce new music to the world, maintain great quality music and celebrate the historically awesome music, remembering where we came from while celebrating the new things that are on the way, and encouraging conversations that lead to discovery, that lead to more. More is more. But we are you guys should all be friend requesting each other. You guys should all be talking with each other, because the one thing that this live stream has shown is that all the different men and women that come here and chat with me every day to learn about the music industry, we all agree that we want to help reshape, re-energize, and make this an authentic, awesome place. What is preventing all of us men and women from doing that? We are the ones that are responsible for the greatest output of this energy that we feel. So why don't we own it, unify it, make it bigger? We are all on the same exact team. So my question is, what is preventing all the men right here in this chat to join up in one team, one force, for one reason, and that is to achieve? We don't have to go to Snapchat yet. We don't have to conquer Google. We don't have to go over to Loudwire. Let's start right here on Facebook. All of us, Rob, Eric, Johnny, William, all of us, we all know hundreds of thousands of bands and people that trust us and love us individually. We all have the power. We are united together. Johnny, Gio, Eric, Scott, we are already united together. We are the key to this. Yeah, real shit. To all you broadcasters, promoters, indies out there, get in touch with me. The deck, here we go. Yep. The deck is 276 indies deep and growing. Gio, can you please send me the master updated poster for the deck of many bands? Can you please send me that so Sepsis can do their part in sharing out this image of unity? Egos and gatekeeping, absolutely, that is true, Eric. But we can put an end to that trend. The people that are in this chat right now are responsible for the greatest amount of output for unifying independent bands. That is, surprisingly and ironically, why you are all here today. Every single day, I'm going to be here. Every single day on the weekday, I'm going to be here. You don't have to look for the news. You don't have to look for emerging technology or social media hacks or tricks. Every day, right here at 10:30 in the morning, as soon as Hans buys me coffee, I'll be here on time, and we will be here, and I will bring up 5 to 10 of the most biggest, powerful topics in technology, music industry, social media, and specifically rock and heavy metal, independent and DIY, news and industry topics. You don't have to look for it ever again. I will bring it here every single fucking day, and we will have a meeting here as the new army. We will have a meeting here as a roll call every morning. We will have a place where you guys can come and talk with me. We can share ideas. We can all look at the music industry together, and then we can redistribute, we can re-energize, and we can send this information out into the real world, the real physical world. Not everybody wants to hear it from a guy like me. Not everybody wants to hear it from a guy like Eric. Not everybody wants to hear it from a guy like Hans. But we are all unified, and we are responsible for the greatest amount of independent rock on Facebook. Let's take it over! There's nothing that's preventing the people that are in this chat right now from completely taking the reins and leading us into a new re-energized music industry. Let them have their old music industry. We don't need to go up against anybody. We're not trying to get rid of anybody. We're not excluding anybody. We're creating something new, something recognizable, something valuable. I know Vox and Styx have been doing it. I know Gio and them have been over there. Johnny Ketchup's been doing it. We're on to something big, you guys. There's nothing preventing us from completely taking over this entire platform. Join with me every day at 10:30.